welcome everybody to our fifth weekly recap. I'm Chris, also hosted by Ryan, our leader. And today's interview will be with Natty Logan. I know a lot of you premium members, especially, know him, and he's got a good presence in the group. So it should be good. And with that, I will let Ryan take it off.
All right. Thank y'all for coming, everyone. I'm going to start off with the summation of the market moving news throughout this week. So we started Monday. Not sure if everyone remembers, but we pulled back significantly on the S&P 500 in the morning, and that was due to the news of the China to U.S. trade talk delay. Definitely is another issue that has been out. We made all-time highs this week, but we still have the issue of China-U.S. tensions, TikTok, still in the air. But the market would recover later that day due to a geopolitical deal with the United Arab Emirates. I think it was with like jets or something. That would play on further in the week as well. So heading into Tuesday, the S&P 500 made a new all-time high, forming a complete V-shaped recovery amidst the coronavirus pandemic. It's just wild seeing how fast that news is priced in these days and how we've made a complete recovery, amidst unemployment being up. And in my opinion, I think the economy is still looking kind of iffy. But apparently investors know that it's priced in, and we're chugging along, making new highs. The catalyst Tuesday for us breaking new highs was positive economic data regarding the housing. So housing sales was looking good, and then house rentals. So this would lead us into Wednesday. The S&P made another high once again, but pulled back from the Fed, stating the ongoing health crisis would weigh heavily on economic activity, employment, and inflation in the near term, and was posing considerable risk to the economic outlook over the medium term. Which is a little weird. That statement was from one of their earlier meetings in late July, so maybe it's a bit of market manipulation just to give us a pullback, That heads into Thursday. The market traded positive, although jobless claims increased above 1 million. But this didn't faze investors very much, as tech led the way, making a new all-time high on the NASDAQ, with Tesla closing over 2,000 and Apple reaching a $2 trillion market cap. I know we definitely took advantage of that in our group. We did alert Tesla and then Apple as well. Saw some good profits on those. So that heads into Friday. More positive economic data led to a positive day for the market. The PMI, which is a manufacturing index, hit a 19th month high, and home sales beat expectations. So it's been a fairly good week, I hope, for everyone. And I have a bit of optimism heading into next week. I feel we can resolve some of these major issues, stimulus, whatnot, in the next weeks ahead.
Yeah, Ryan, I like how you kind of touched on that the market right now, with everything reaching all-time highs and exceeding all-time highs, is not a true representation of the economy. As you said, we had back over 1.1 million initial jobless claims this week. Everybody knows that with the virus, we're not back to full capacity as an economy, and yet here we are, all-time highs. Apple's at 500, Tesla's at 2,000. So, just something to always remember is that stock market is not a representation of the economy. It's a representation of the large companies, and they will function and weather this pandemic much better than your local stores and your independent business owners. So definitely something to keep in mind.
For sure. And then a little bit of technical analysis on some indices. SPY has been kind of consolidating between 335 and 339. I see support at 335 for sure. And then the Dow Jones closed above support on the daily. It's been kind of sideways as well. And then NASDAQ, of course, is still going upward, looking good on the daily. Upwards trend. But that's everything on my end if you want to.
All right. Yeah, I just want to talk about, because I know we've got a ton of questions regarding the split for both Tesla and for Apple. So just to kind of recap, obviously earlier this month, they both announced splits. I believe both of those splits are occurring on the 31st. Don't quote me on that Tesla one, but I know the Apple for sure. And with Tesla being 5-for-1, you're going to get 5 shares. Okay, so they're both on the 31st. So for Tesla, every 1 share that you own before the split will turn into 5. And for Apple, every 1 share that you own before the split will turn into 4. So there's a lot of confusion circulating around this record day, which is today. The only reason why it's important for 99.9% of investors is because of accounting. So it's not going to affect any of us in any way. It's only a method of the brokerages distributing shares to the initial shareholders. So you can purchase shares yesterday, today, or next Friday, and your shares will still reflect the split value on Monday, August 31st. So bottom line is the record date means nothing unless you're an accountant or a brokerage distributing shares, and values and nothing will change for you. Everything will equate to what it needs to be. So just kind of want to clear the air with that. And if you need any further explanation about that, please shoot me a DM. If I don't respond to your DM right away, shoot me another one because I have a lot. So anyway, I hope that clears up the whole split issue and the record date issue. It's basically meaningless, really just accounting mumbo jumbo. So that kind of sums that up. Are we ready for the interview here, Ryan?
I have some earnings, and we can either do that now or we can do the
Why
interview.
don't you go over the earnings, and then if Natty Logan's listening, I'd say T-minus 2 minutes.
Okay. So some earnings. JD, which is JD.com, which is a popular China stock, reported second quarter June 2020 earnings of 0.54 cents per share on revenue of 28.5 billion. So they beat the estimate of 0.38 per share and revenue of 27 billion. Then Walmart reported as well. They had 1.56 per share on revenue of 137.7 billion, beating the estimate of $1.22 per share with the revenue of 134.3 billion. Then Target also reported. They beat as well. Beat the revenue with 23 billion. And then John Deere also beat. They beat the estimate of 6.6 billion with 8.9 billion. And then Alibaba, they also beat expectations of 21.1 billion of revenue with 21.8. So a lot of popular Chinese stocks had earnings this week. So I'm going to be on the lookout for ER continuation of these China stocks, but definitely be careful of the continued US-China tensions because that can drop anytime, any day, and just turn things south. But with these major companies, Chinese companies reporting good data, definitely going to keep that into consideration. And then retail stores as well, Walmart, Target.
Yeah, Target actually knocked it out of the park with earnings this week. I think they were up 12%. Yeah, big one. So the retail, like we said, the big retail stores are going to be fine. They're going to recover from the economy, and it's your local mom and pops that are going to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that about it for earnings?
Yes, sir.
All right. Natty Logan.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My actual name is Logan. If you haven't been able to figure that out from my Discord name here.
So yeah, everybody, this is Natty Logan or Logan, however you want to call him. How long have you been in the group?
I joined this group about a month and a half ago.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into trading?
Yeah, sure. So quick intro about me. I'm a full-time iOS developer, or in other words, I help make the iPhone app for a major company. Been doing that for about 3.5 years now. So trading is kind of my side hobby. My trading journey is a bit of a story, so I'll try to keep it short here. Got into trading back in the beginning of 2017. Long story short, I was playing online poker at the time. Just became profitable in it too, and went to add more money to my account. Bought Bitcoin as the fastest way. Went to transfer it a few days later, and it was like 25% higher in value already. Kind of made me switch from poker to trading at that point in time. So I started trading crypto pretty heavily through 2017 and really got into technical analysis. And then 2018 got into Forex, and then just recently got into options. Yeah, that's just pretty much a summary of everything.
Do you mostly trade options, or do you trade shares as well?
I have never traded actual shares.
Fair enough. Um, so what brokerage are you using? I know everybody kind of wants to know what each person's using.
Yeah, I used Robinhood to like play around with options. Probably like last year, I started playing around with them like once every few months, make a trade, something like that. But when I started trading for real, like 5, 6 weeks ago, I switched to Thinkorswim.
So are you only using the one brokerage at the moment?
I am, yeah.
Nice. So are there any trades so far that you've made, good or bad, that really stand out to this day?
Yeah, I mean, on the good side, pretty much every crypto trade I made in 2017 was just wild. I don't know how many people here have paid attention to that market or know what happened, but it just exploded every single day.
Yeah.
On the bad side, in 2018, the exact opposite happened. So I got into a trade. I can't remember the name of the coin anymore since it's been 2 years or so. It was about 200 sats in value, the smallest unit of crypto, basically. Saw it drop to like 90 or 80 in like a 1 minute candle. So like a 60, 70% drop. Just went all in with my portfolio. It dropped down to like 10. So it lost like 85% of its value in the next 5 minutes. Never recovered. So
Ooh. Yeah, that's
that,
one that'll stick with you.
yeah.
So that would actually bring up a good question: is how do you handle your emotions when trading? Because I know we all deal with either the euphoria or the depression that can come along with a bad trade.
Yeah, definitely. That's been like definitely the hardest journey of trading so far. Especially in that first losing trade after spending the whole previous year not having any losing trades. Really hard turnaround. I think kind of for me, it's been a mix of reading books. So my personal favorite is Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas. Other than that, I try to just keep my head up, start another small account once I have a blown account like that, and see what happens with it. Work twice as hard, and just know that if you want to get on top, you got to keep pushing through all the losses.
So do you currently have like a very specific strategy for your trade, for your options trading?
In crypto and FX, I do. I still trade those, and my strategy is pretty strict there. I've been playing around a lot week over week in options, trying to find what's best for me. So I'm still working on that, I would say.
So you're still developing that. And how long have you been trading options?
Just 5 or 6 weeks ago when I joined this group.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so definitely a long journey ahead of you, and
Definitely.
definitely a lot different from last week where we talked to John, who had been trading for much longer now, and you're only here at 5 and 6 weeks. Um, so you're mostly trading crypto and forex as opposed to the options, though.
I make more options trades, but my options account is way smaller than my other accounts. So, yeah, I'm basically swinging FX and crypto trades, multi days, week long trades, stuff like that.
Yeah, is this something you could see yourself doing full time, trading either of your markets?
Yeah, that's something I've considered a lot. I really like my full time job, which is definitely a nice thing to say.
Right.
To keep it as a short summary, I see it as like a early retire part-time job for me. That's kind of my life plan with trading is 10 years down the line, have it make enough income for me to not do anything else but trade a few hours a day.
Oh, for sure. I'm right there with you. That's I'll probably never retire, but I'd like to be able to do this forever. That would
Definitely.
not be a bad job for sure. So obviously you're still developing your strategy. Do you have any advice for new traders? Because they say 98% of new traders fail. So why do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely in that 98% the last 5 weeks. This last week was actually my only profitable week so far. So if anyone's in the same situation, keep your head up and spend weekends learning and figuring out where you went wrong with all your trades and everything like that. That's my number one advice. And number two is don't start with a huge account that will crush you if you blow it. I've been playing with small accounts the whole time. So those are the two things I would say.
Yeah, no, that's solid advice. We definitely preach risk management day in and day out. Um, so do you have any specific risk management criteria that you would feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah, again, I'm still trying to work those out in options because the contracts, swing so much. Whereas in forex and crypto and trading 2% stop losses. Obviously, that's impossible with these contracts. So position sizing can come into play there to help you with still risking that small percent of your portfolio. But yeah, I don't have a great answer for options on that one yet.
Fair enough. That's interesting that you bring up like a 2% stop loss, because I've never traded forex. I've never traded crypto. So obviously you have to keep a much tighter risk management criteria for that type of market as opposed to with options.
Yeah, definitely. And in crypto trades, I'm trading, almost my entire portfolio when I'm entering trades. So just a 2% stop is still only risking 2% of my portfolio. So
Right. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. Might
yeah.
have to hop into the crypto chat and see what you're posting over there. Um, yeah, so I guess I don't have too many more questions for you. We're kind of running through the list real quick here. But what do you think is something that you currently struggle with that you're trying to overcome? Let's say next week. What are you working on?
Yeah, for me, it's two things. One is just the emotional aspect. I'm always trying to improve on that. It's super hard, and I'm definitely not there yet with it. Even with practicing it and reading books and everything. And then the second thing for me is exits. I find exiting trades really hard. There's the idea of like exiting when you're comfortable in profit, but yeah, entries are a lot easier in my eyes than exits. So that's something I'm working on for sure.
Awesome. We'll get you through that. And then, so my final question would be, what's your one piece of advice for a new trader? For any of the guys listening here, what's the one thing that you can tell them?
I would just play on top of like controlling your emotions. For that is the most important part of trading. Some like a major mistake I made was thinking it's like the technical analysis I'm doing when I first started. So I just kept throwing more and more onto the chart, and you have 25 indicators, and then you have all sorts of mixed signals and things like that. Over time, I've slowly decreased that and just deleted all of those indicators. So back to simple charts, and risk management is really everything in trading.
Absolutely. So risk management and not overdoing it on the technical analysis.
Definitely. I think technical analysis is important, but risk management is definitely up there, if not more important.
Oh, absolutely. Well, like you said, you don't need 25 indicators, maybe
Exactly.
5 or so. Are there any that you currently use that you think you're going to stick with? Like my favorite is the EMA 13. What are you using?
Yeah. In my short-term day trading, I use Fibonacci retracements, and pitchforks for geometry. Those are my three favorites. When I'm doing long-term analysis, I use Elliott wave theory. It's my personal favorite.
Good to know. I don't use Elliott wave at all. I honestly don't know much about it. I know a lot of guys in here use it, so maybe we'll have to chat later.
Yeah,
Go over the Elliott wave.
It's a long learning process for sure. There's tons and tons of rules and guidelines to follow with it, but it's a great tool for sure.
For sure. All right, Ryan, do you have any questions for Logan?
Yes, I have a couple of questions.
I'll hand the mic to you.
Okay, thank you. With options, how have you stayed motivated on the learning curve, like especially in an unprecedented market and volatile market?
Just the desire to have a profitable week has been my motivation. And finally getting there this week is a huge reward for sure. I think through all of my trading the last few years, like volatility has been something I've been chasing, and it seems volatility is almost built into options, so you get that for free. So I have this like feeling in my mind that as soon as I understand options and can successfully trade them, that they're going to be my favorite asset and my most profitable asset for sure.
Awesome. And then where should new individuals start with options trading? Maybe someone who's brand new. What would you recommend that someone start with?
You mean like what account size, or like what platform, or?
Yeah, like the platform. What thing they should learn first? Should they learn about indicators? Risk management, position sizing.
Gotcha.
What's kind of helped you?
I feel like learning how to join support I was reading the chat when I said that, how to draw support and resistance is probably the first thing that you can really dive into in a chart, and it helps out a ton to understand what you're reading, aside from just understanding what the candlesticks actually say. And then from the other side, definitely understanding risk management and how that scales over time. Look at what would happen if you lost 5 trades in a row with your plan that you have, and if you'll ever be able to recover.
Definitely.
That's a good perspective. I like that.
Well, that's pretty much it on my end.
All right, I got one more for you. It looks like Scooby wants to know, how did you join Trading Outpost?
Someone messaged me through Discord, actually. Willie sent me a message and told me to come check it out. He was like, it's $1. I was like, okay, I've always considered trading options. I guess for $1, I'll come see what the group is and see if I can learn what options really are. Because I've played around with them, but never knew what I was really trading. So, yeah, he brought me here.
Fair enough. Well, thank you, Willie, if you're listening. Yeah, so I think that about concludes the interview. Thank you so much for hopping in here with us, and I hope everybody learned a little something. And I'll be looking forward to any posts you make in crypto chat, forex related, and also I want to learn some Elliott Wave from you.
Yeah, definitely. I guess I'll do a 10-second shout out to myself. I have a YouTube channel teaching Elliott Wave theory and many other things. So definitely feel free to check that out.
Awesome. Yeah, you post a lot of videos down in the video channel, right?
I do, yeah. I have
Alright.
about 2 hours on Elliott Wave theory there of content. So it's nothing small, but it should help.
Awesome. And those are all your own videos, right?
They are, yeah.
Perfect. All right. So everybody go check out those videos and I don't know, like, comment, subscribe. That's how we do it on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you have any suggestions of what you want to see, love to hear it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.